We have a copy of this.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
What I've done here is shown you what our fund balance is for each fund through June and then projected through the end of the year. To then show you kind of what we anticipate to start 2027 with. And then that is used as our fundamental base to build out. As you can see, our general fund is healthy. I mean, we're gonna burn a little bit of our reserves. But I would call that what, just under 10% of our reserves will be burned. And keep throughout all of this, we're already in the property tax reform that the state legislators have forced upon us. That's Senate Bill Act 1. We are limited with the amount of property taxes we will ever receive. Our circuit breakers will continue to increase. There's no way around that. And also income taxes go away completely in 2020. So your seeded fund and your lower fund completely gone in about 3 years.
Well, I read-
We need to start thinking about now.
Mr. Chairman, or 28.
29 will be the last year of election.
Yeah.
So 28,
Yeah.
last year you paid into it.
Yeah.
29 is the last year the city received it. So that's a lot of bombshells. Apologies. I guess I want to show you the facts before we move into the real detail of the budget there on page 4. Projected revenues, I have all property taxes held relatively constant next year. I'm assuming 0% increase in property tax. Perhaps we must do that because our circuit breakers are so unpredictable, especially with how the county is processing the values right now. As you'll see on the right-hand column of that page 4, projected operating surplus, we're going to lose roughly just over $500,000 in the general fund. 31,000 MVH, 30,000 in parks, 234,000 in seeded. Low and storm NS4 look a little bit more healthy, and then sewer will lose roughly 100,000. And then revenues will stay positive. And that's just our year-to-year cash flow. That's not the cash balance itself. That's what net revenue over expense is.
I gotta answer the question, Dan.
Mhm.
We have a built-in 3% increase annually in our sewer.
Mhm.
How can we be losing money in sewer? Are just operating costs going up faster than our?
The built-in escalator for our revenues, our fees, is not enough to keep up the escalating cost.
Is that something to do with GSD?
Not directly. I think every single fund, you'll see that COLA rates and everything are just increasing beyond 3%. Your utilities, for example, in Lake Station are up 18 or 19% from last year.
Not sewer, it's up 3%.
I know the fees, yes, but on the expense side of things, we're looking at multiples above 3% on some expenses. Okay. Page 5 will be interesting. It's a breakdown of each department for the general fund.
I said page 4 is interesting. The reason I say that is the general fund, I mean, you're up over $1 million, but you show me damn near $1 million that we'll lose next year, so.
About 600,000. Almost entirely health insurance increase. For that general fund. So, I mean, it's a battle we're going to have to discuss is what does the council ultimately get to do? You get to vote on this proposal, right? So over the next month or two, we get to have these conversations and say to ourselves, the realistic picture is health insurance is going to cost $1.6 to $1.8 million next year. Here's how we budget for it. Do we want to approve it? If you don't approve it, I may be back here this time again next year asking for additional appropriation. You know,
I'm sure you would. Isn't that like part of your job?
And well, I'm doing this now, so I don't have to come back next year and ask for it.
Yeah.
General fund wise, we're looking at some substantial increases. I will mention part of this proposal is you'll see this in the salary ordinance, a $1,000 raise for all city employees. the proposal draft form were, relatively discussed. So broken down by each department, some of them are relatively small changes. I've already gotten a message from the clerk treasurer's department saying, hey, can we fix this? So none of these are set in stone. We still have to have conversations with fire department, police department. I believe they also want to have a workshop with you so that, we can have more back and forth like this. So this is these are not concrete numbers. But it's a good idea of what it actually will cost next year.
Can I ask a question, Mayor?
Absolutely.
My question to you, Mayor, and Dalton, and to Adrian, have you not sat with the department heads of the different departments and gotten their input or their feed, for what they need to operate?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So,
they requested that they wanted to meet with the council.
okay,
Right.
where are they?
Which I think is the right way to do it. We'll, prepare the proposal, then we come to you with legitimate numbers that are being proposed, and then we can go back and forth from there.
Mr. Chairman. The department head, so you guys are gonna need a session with just Jimmy by himself. You'll need a session with Chuck Wentz. There's no way we can get all these guys in here.
Not in an hour, no.
His presentation in 90 minutes, which is what we're working with today. So they do want to come and meet with you guys, so I guess we'll set that up for the next one where I could get Jimmy or Chuck to come meet with you guys first, and the next one I have another one with you guys, and that'll cover everything else.
So that's the way we used to do it in the city. We used to say, we'd like to see who are you gonna start with? Mayor's office, clerk treasurer, board of works, and get 3 or 4 of them knocked out the first budget session. And then police and fire have them here, and where they're asking for increases, we can bounce questions off of them. So you're not doing all the talking for them. You're up here negotiating for them. And I feel like we're not doing our job because we're not asking them. I want them to know, other than just a numbers cruncher throwing a bunch of numbers in front of us, I mean, the projections that we're gonna receive, you say yes, because I sent you an email and asked you. Is the DLGF gonna bless a budget like this that went up nearly $1 million? And you said we're pretty good in our reserves. And when you say that, I looked at the appropriation report, we've spent half the money halfway through the year. So what reserves are we speaking about? The cash balances that's funded by the water cell as well. That's why we have a reserve.
Question directly, which was the DLGF will approve the budget because we have the fund balance.
Yeah.
Is it a good idea to increase the budget so much? No, but unfortunately, health insurance is unavoidable and it's.
Yeah, but they've never, in my 20 years of being on the council, they've never approved without making some cuts.
Yeah.
They just feel like that's their job. You send us something, it's a wish list. And they're gonna take money from it, like they've done in the park and other areas of our budget. So
I'm happy to negotiate on the details here. I'm happy to. The final page of this presentation is just a
Okay.
breakdown of your major funds. Included would be some of your home rule funds like debt service and your redevelopment allocation area. It's all funneled into the same ordinance. You get to approve every single fund that the city operates. So I just wanted to show you more than just the general fund, which is our proposal versus the 2026 budget, and then the dollar change from year to year.
Mhm.
One caveat, we may have an adjustment to make to the risk liability insurance fund. We have recently found out that it will be more expensive next year than it is budgeted for at that 503,000. It'll likely be closer to 600,000.
is that the fund that we pay lawsuits off with? If the
That's
city
just
sued, is
risk.
that where we take money?
It's just risk coverage, insurance coverage. It's a renewal fee that we pay every single year.
Above and beyond health insurance?
Yeah, and it's funded from our general fund departments and some of our major funds. Like MPH.
City pays the insurance premiums from those funds, and then, of course, the insurance company would handle those claims
Yes.
to refer to.
So several concerning funds, but the ones that concern me the most are seated and refuse. Right now, I'm looking at seated having a pretty substantial cash flow issue within the next year, which is if there's not enough revenue coming in to support its budget. Plus, certain expenses coming out of there are necessary expenditures like lease payments. Those are required. We're under legal obligation to make those payments. So just something to consider as you're flipping through the detail in your own time.
Well, a lot of the money, Mr. Chairman,
Council,
a lot of the money that we spend in seated, of course, that covers the chief's salary, which we're gonna have to find money to cover that when that goes away. Police chief's salary, when that goes away. I mean, those are substantial salaries when you start adding them all up. And some of the seated money we use now to buy equipment, fire equipment, apparatus, tools, training materials for police and fire. I mean, those are gonna have to start coming out of other areas that we're already leaning on, like refuge, like sewer, because they're revenue generating. So you can only squeeze so much juice out of you know what I'm saying? It's like, how are we gonna fund those when they go away?
This isn't a next year problem.
Right.
The state has allowed you to, as a city, to establish your own income tax rate.
Yeah.
And it's a set amount, it's like 1.2% or something. I still need to run some numbers on the sort of revenue that actually brings in so that you can then start figuring out how do we restructure seated and loaded? Can we cover those two funds with our new city income tax rate, or do we have to subsidize from somewhere else? So that'll be a conversation we have over the next 2-3 years as this legislation rolls in phases in. But for the sake of next year, you have your projected fund balances, you have the budget proposal. I would be happy to take any feedback, take some flack if you have any.
Oh, no, I don't want you to feel like I'm giving you flack or, making it hard on you, because you're great with the numbers. And you give us all the numbers that we need. I've compared and they're pretty in line with our budget, our appropriations, I look at that stuff. I'm a bit of a geek when it looks at budget and I'm looking at salary ordinance, then budget time comes along. Sometimes, people feel like they're on the hot seat if they get asked a question, the department head, even the mayor, maybe when it comes to giving people money, funding certain things. But that's why we have a council. If we didn't have a council, what would it be? We have to be the ones that question. I know that the mayor and Adrian have, 100% faith in you. And I have a lot of faith in you as well. You come from pretty good blood. I know your parents, so. Your dad was pretty sharp and I never had an issue or he never had to backtrack anything he put on paper or presented to us in a budget session.
Right.
The previous firm that we had, there were a couple of issues where we were given some, incorrect information. It cost them their job here.
Mm-hmm.
And representing the city, before we met your dad, And
One
so,
big point I want to make on the salary ordinance. Next year is 27 pays. The way I have it listed on here, every single person would make less per pay. So we're trying to figure out a way to correct that. So that in 27 pays, you're not making less per paycheck. I've been going back and forth with clerk's office, trying to figure out the best way to actually structure how next year's pay structure.
you guys all understand what I'm saying, right?
no,
There's 27 paydays.
6 pays each year.
Yep.
Next year there's an additional.
okay.
So we set your annual salary. But if there's one additional pay, you make less
money per pay.
And some people can't make less per paycheck because they live paycheck to paycheck.
Correct.
So that's a dilemma, not dilemma, something we're trying to solve. How do we keep the same pay level, but split it up so everyone's making basically the same amount per paycheck over 27? One option is to use the $1,000 raise as kind of that 27th pay. As a way to kind of formulate that in.
Mm-hmm.
So more on that, since I can discuss further next time. And then,
Under sewer, for 48,000. I know we do 3% every March. That's the number we're probably gonna have to look at. To be competitive and not to be in the red. Just that one bothers. That was concerning to me, but you know, in order to maintain the services we have and also then to you know, stay competitive, you know, we're gonna have to unfortunately make that decision, that hard decision. We don't want it, we don't wanna have to put that on the citizens, but at the same time, we cannot eat that because it'll eat us alive.
Well, as the equipment gets older, and many more repairs required. You know, if not a meeting goes by that Adrian and Dwayne are telling us about this costs that much, this is 90, this is 80, this is 50. I mean, we see it, we hear it, you know, so we not only the sewer mirror, but the refuge as well. I mean, we've gone multiple years and haven't touched that. And I know our fees at the transfer station are more because we don't get anything for for our recycling anymore. Like we used to get compensated for that.
Right.
So yeah, there's a couple fees that nobody likes to talk about fees because the people that pay those fees are the ones that you're knocking on their door asking for their support at election time, you know, so, and everyone knows that, but sound government to try to keep these funds out of the red. I mean, fact, it's gotta be done at some point.
And if the city continues to grow in some of these projects, things will cost more. We will have more infrastructure to install. Some of our vehicles will eventually break down. So
Yeah.
it's expensive. I was talking to your fire chief the other day and he said an ambulance 4 years ago was $20,000. Now it's 8, 9, close to $1 million just for the same ambulance. So it's impossible to compete with some of these.
And I don't wanna jump around, but I seen that where it shows we have payments on vehicles, let's say. That we pick up a $85,000 payment next year on an ambulance.
So that's a tentative. There's a tentative ambulance that has not yet come before you, the lease agreements. If that is that in the water, I will remove it from this budget.
Yeah, I mean, we as a council can figure out on that, because I don't know what condition the three are sitting outside. But I seen that and I thought, well, okay, did we get one? We don't know about it? Or is it just a thought?
It's a thought.
Expect one.
And frankly, apologies. Frankly, your fire chief would be better suited.
Yeah, that's fine. I know we're not, I just had a question because I seen it starts next year. So a lot of the stuff, like I said.
If it doesn't get approved, it'll be off this budget.
Vice, Mayor. And I look at in the fire department, we've got 4 payments that we're making, 59, 116, 20, 147. For purchases that we've already made that we're still paying for. Are you with me, Adrian, Mayor?
When I get there,
It doesn't show, it doesn't, nowhere do I know what the balance is on those. We would need to know what the balance, how many more payments of this amount do we need.
I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? If you look at that 59, 116, 21, I mean, I know we're jumping around, but you brought it up, Carlos, so I'll just continue down that. But we're already making, you know, I mean, a good amount of money we're spending now and making payments on equipment that we're currently using.
We'll get a breakdown.
Yeah.
As soon as possible, get it sent out to you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, before we entertain adding another payment with cuts coming to seed it and low it, I mean, it only makes sense to know where we are there. It's like we all like to have another car, one that we only drive on Sundays and then the one we drive to work every day, right? But sometimes your budget doesn't allow it, so.
Can I ask where we're talking, where we?
In fire.
See it.
We're on, well, the pages aren't numbered, Daniel, but,
What I.
seated, 4436 series, fund, and it's down at, 400. 401, 404, 405, down towards the bottom, above the budget for seated, right above the budget. We're in the budget proposed.
Okay. See it right here, this one. That right? I know.
Okay.
See it.
We have the,
Income tax money.
we have the lease schedules for each of those, and we can talk about that.
You know, we have time, we're committed to those payments already, but we aren't really committed at this point to anything else.
Yeah.
Another fee, Mayor, that we didn't talk about, that I know will be on the stream is the ambulance. You know, those we provide, and we are getting our installments up from New Chicago, right, for helping them.
Yep.
Yeah, and no problem.
Nope, not at all.
Good. And who knows how long they'll want that to continue, you know? But anytime that we need to buy stuff, because we're wearing it out going over there, their fee needs to go up. I mean, I'm friends with them, but it's just our taxpayers are kind of supporting that, so.
Well, this is a 1 year deal.
Oh, you're gonna renegotiate it before the end of the year,
There
right?
might not even be a renegotiation,
Oh,
depending on how our finances work.
or their fee would need to increase.
Well, I mean, we've been hearing $400,000 since the day, so
Yeah.
I don't see it increasing because it has not increased in the 10 years that I've known it. It's always been $400,000. So. Once again, we'll get there. We're not canceling them, you know,
Yeah.
but when it comes to renegotiating time, we negotiate. And if it works for everybody, it works for everybody. At the end of the day, if it's not in the best interest of the Lake Station, it's not gonna happen.
Everything's going up. It's hard for everybody around here, so. You have to tighten the string to make sure the money's going where it needs to be going.
Mayor, or if I may, Mayor. Dalton, you figured in the budget, you said 10%. Did you include elected officials?
1,000. 1,000.
I could see a cut coming right away.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I could see a cut coming right away on that.
okay.
I mean, when we get to that point, but I just wasn't. I mean, I looked over the numbers and the salary numbers, but I didn't, I was digging around trying to find this year's. And I couldn't for the numbers, so.
Yeah.
Just for employees, raise just for employees.
That's my feeling. I'm one person, but
How about
I don't think that.
commission, board members,
What did you say?
Pointed.
like board members, appointing boards, things such as that.
I don't see those increasing at all, especially when we're gonna have to,
They're part-time.
if we needed to make cuts in other places, we definitely don't want to be raising those fees for the meetings.
And the way I was reading, also part-time people are getting $1,000 too, right?
Yeah, equated to their hourly rate. So regular 2,080 hours multiplied, I added 50 cents an hour. Which factors out to about $1,000 a year
Full-time, you mean,
for the part-timers.
Everyone.
for every,
And then for PD and fire, it equated to about 34 cents an hour increase because they work more hours. They're on that 2,900 hours, a year,
March,
2,912 or something.
They were just, not too many months ago, they were all given a fairly substantial increase in their pay. With that seated line, of course, that, the low end line, or assistant chief. Which we need to take out of our budget and our salary ordinance, there's no sense having, I mean, we can always put it back in if they change their mind, and the mayor's fine with that at some point. But we don't have that position anymore, that was taken out by the police, they had elected to take that out, but I see it still on our page of the salary and budget, so.
So I just took the most recent amended ordinance, salary ordinance,
Mhm.
plug that in. So.
Yeah, well, we did that. We didn't change the salary ordinance. We did that one page for police, but what we had, you know, we would have had to made that change on our own copy. We didn't get copies from her of the updated. Other than what we were, you know, I'm doodling on mine, trying to figure the percentages of increase and so on, so.
Yeah, and we were trying to figure out. Like, we'll use because it'll show like in the police, sergeant, detectives, corporals, and then. What it is this year, what it will be projected next year. But we don't know how many of
Yeah.
those positions you have to figure out if it's $1,000 each or whatever it comes out to.
I mean, how many people in that position?
Right, because you show the amount that changed from the full amount. And just use like, say I have 4 detectives, 10 detectives, whatever.
Mhm.
And you're showing the total amount that they make altogether in 2026. And then when would it be in 2027? Well, we can't figure out what it would be each because it doesn't say how many are at that rate.
Well,
Don't I show that?
Mr. Chairman, and
I might have missed it.
yeah, in the salary ordinance, you do show that.
Oh, okay,
You know, in the first column, everybody. Under police, board of works, whatever. It's every budget.
okay, I see.
It shows it in the parentheses out, you know, there next to the title. 5, 4, 2. When you get down, you got 10 master patrol, 1 second class, 1 third. I thought we were
I see, I
limited.
didn't see that. Okay, not bad.
Okay. All right.
No, under fire, I don't tell you how many. If they would like, we could, under the fire department, add in
Well,
numbers.
there's not, I mean,
It's never a set number from month to month.
yeah,
I mean, it's pretty sad, but I mean, the more experienced people obviously don't leave, but sometimes the new guys get on and it's not for them and they leave, but.
Yeah.
But they've added. Guys, and when these guys that are going through the academy, Mayor, they're gonna need to get on the payroll and start answering calls, right?
We're up to
Short.
75.
75. So that grand total of pool of money for fire when we were at 35. Probably needs to go up because now we have more people. Whether they make the engine or not, they still get paid for showing up for the call. You understand?
Mhm.
So with those numbers there, you're liable to have more people. And I guess at the end of the year, if that was running lower. You can always revisit it, you know, but
That was a little tight, but no.
yeah. I saw that.
Piece of the pie is pretty tight.
I saw that. And when you hire more people that get the same pay as some of the other regulars that have been on a few years, you know, you have more people pulling from that. You know, the hope is that they'll have help during the day because everybody pretty much works days. So during the day, they don't have enough people, you know, so the hope is some of these guys would be working nights and midnights, you know, so they can answer calls during the day. So that's the hope of the chiefs, I'm sure. It's always been that way. But
Reminding the process with the sanitary district budget and stormwater. Do they run through council
yeah,
for approval? Okay,
well,
those are not yet drafted.
we don't actually approve it, but we have to appropriate what they do, what they come up with. The numbers that they compile, moving from year to year, they are their own board.
Mhm.
But we still have to appropriate the money, so it'd be something that we'd have to bless, you know.
We're working on those drafts.
When we're talking about, Mayor, sorry, just keep talking. Mayor, when we're talking about areas where we haven't used the money, that kind of goes to what we were speaking about in the emails as far as our reserves. We have lines that we probably won't zero out by the end of the year. Typically, they're not payroll. We just had money there just in case, like a rainy day fund per se, and we didn't need it.
Mhm.
So that goes against our reserves also for the DLGF to look at?
No,
No.
no, those remaining appropriations, they just disappear.
Yeah.
There's no exchange. there's no-
You aren't encumbering those for next year.
Unless you get in the practice of encumbering, but it's detailed.
Yeah.
Very detailed.
We've talked about it in years past, but, you know, you hear talk of going through budget training like an AIM or an IAC down in India or whatever. They like to talk about it. I think some communities, like the bigger cities, I think they have a way of doing that.
Sometimes you'll have a salt purchase where the purchase actually runs from one year into the next year over December to January, so you need to encumber some of that budget.
Yeah.
So it doesn't disappear on you on December 31st. So that's kind of what encumber is. So you know we're gonna spend it, so what will we do it? Basically. Health insurance increase, wage raise, $1,000 for employees. And some miscellaneous service cost increases are the only changes we have made to the budget. And that amounted to roughly $2.5 million. One other thing. There's a few new funds that we added to the list. So the last page of your budget ordinance shows you all of the funds.
Yeah.
We included the opioid funds, restricted and unrestricted.
Right.
We included a new building and construction fee fund. So there's a new statute, SCA 1001, which requires the building department expenses to be pulled out in the general fund. Established within our standalone fee to be fully maintained by building permits and other building related fees. So it's very convoluted, and I'll send you the State Board of Accounts guidance on this. But all I did is take the building department, all of its existing costs, stripped it out into a standalone fund. My worry is that we don't have enough building related revenues to support those expenses. So we need to do a little bit of thinking.
You're on 2513. 2513 total building
Yes.
fund.
Yes.
One. That's the SEA one.
SCA 1001.
1001. I knew that SEA still.
Says make your fees high enough to support the department
Yeah,
in a nutshell.
it wants your building department to be fully reliant on your permits. Building related type fees as well,
Right.
but for our city,
Well,
it's mostly just. building permits.
it's kind of been there. I mean,
Yeah, but currently it falls inside, it's supported by property tax. We strip all that away and have it standalone by itself, try to survive. Right now, we're paying some people out of it, so we have some salaries, some benefits, some supplies, some service costs. About $240,000 worth of expenses that I guarantee you we're not bringing in as revenue.
No.
Or to cover that.
unless we build a Amazon cost.
One thing I may do is reorganize how the building fund is set up, is shift some of those back. What department I funnel them under? You know, we need to have that conversation, but I'm not quite sure. How to try to cover the entire cost based on those sheets. Right. But for further discussion, I suppose.
None of you have any questions? Concerns, issues?
I don't have an issue, but it's not so much with this as much as I have a problem with the fact that we're having this meeting and this workshop, and if the mayor is the CEO of the city, our CFO would be the clerk treasurer, and they're not here. She's not here, our representative isn't here. I have a problem.
Yeah, I did speak with Fred earlier, Court Treasurer Samuels earlier, and she mentioned she didn't feel the necessity to be here. For this kind of this.
I'll talk to her about it.
Right, and I have, that's, and she has every right to do that. I'm expressing my concern with him as a councilman.
She's,
I have-
she's the clerk of the council.
Right.
And when we're talking about, we're not doing anything today because number one, she's not here. Number two, we haven't like dove into each department really deep. But when we are making a change, she needs to be here documenting that.
Right.
As opposed to a contractor documenting that. Brenda's already on the payroll, you know. I know I wish she made more, but she doesn't, so. But she is the clerk of the council and I'm gonna ask her why I didn't get a call as the president. I mean, if you don't feel good, I understand that, but send somebody else. You got 3 or 4 ladies in there, all they're doing is keeping minutes. So we'll talk.
That's all I.
Well, the discussions that I've had with folks in Lake County specifically about losing See It and Lowit. For some reason, I want to say that some of those funds will start to go away next year, more in 28 and totally in 29. All gone.
All at once. In 2020. No.
So when we're
No
sitting,
phased approach, it's just income taxes go away completely.
so the last year they'll collect those is the 26th payable 27, 28. Okay.
You'll have income taxes to the city in 2028. You'll have 0 in 2029 unless you create your own income tax rate. So there'll likely be an ordinance that,
Well, it wouldn't be called seated or Lowit. I mean, we could call it whatever, but
that's a good question. There's a very specific
I don't.
scenario. So it's not for cities and towns specifically. I need to look into this a little more. It's not just seated and low income tax. It's just a municipal income tax, which could be split between any department, any fund.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? So we need to dedicate it to specific expenditures if we consider establishing.
Where we're gonna lose the seated and the Lowit would need to be funded by another source because we're losing that. That makes sense. I mean, I guess. I don't know that they have a lot of sense down there, but because they put a lot of communities in a bad way.
I'm not sure what the county is doing right now, but the state has allowed every county in the state to establish what's called a MUST committee, municipal unit strategic task force, specifically related to solving income tax problems in their county. I worked with another county close by who reached out to all of their municipalities, townships, libraries, everyone, and said, hey, we're meeting in August, come to this meeting so we can submit a plan to the state by October. There's a very, very brief deadline of October 1st for counties to submit a plan to the state saying, here's the game plan for all counties. So I haven't heard anything from Lake County. I'm not sure if you have, if any of you have, but it would be nice.
Well, I know we got new council people coming into the county starting the first of the year. Gonna be brand new at, and that's their first point of order, right? Or well, they should be doing something now, but carrying over for next year.
If they don't do anything, I say we still start planning ahead. The big issue now, it's a bigger issue next year, 2 years from now, we're too late to start thinking about it. So this time next year, I'd like to have some sort of scenario in your hands that says, here's your income tax rate. If you choose to establish it, here's the revenue that could bring in to cover anything lost in 2029. Future is what.
If you take,
Yeah, more voters, we wouldn't have a bleak future.
if you guys look at what we've been funding since those seated and Lowit funds, I mean, it's millions that we've received that are gonna get turned off. The Spigot's gonna be shut off. And that Senate Enrolled Act, they've passed. I mean, it says if you want to do it, go ahead locally. They don't want to be,
Held responsible for taxing the people.
they don't want to be getting yelled at about those things. They like the local people to start getting yelled at.
But it also.
I mean, like we don't now, but I mean, you know what I'm saying, even more.
Sure. But it's our job to educate our people too and let them know that it's not on us. This is being forced on us. And that's where some of us fall short in our in local government is we don't educate the people as to why we're doing this. And it's necessary because they're going to expect the same things, right? Like they're going to expect the same services, much like Rick, we talked about the 1, 2, 3 when they passed that downstate. Everybody thought, hey, we all proud. I'm pretty sure all of us voted for that. And we didn't realize that where it was going to be, where they would take it from the funds going to the municipalities. And, you know, we're going to have to, I mean, we know what's coming. Part of this, why don't we get on top of it also? And while we're thinking of a game plan, let's think of how we're going to explain that same game plan to the people. Explain why it's necessary.
Yeah.
Get information out there.
A couple of us should go to IAC.
Yeah.
Really,
We should, absolutely.
and we've got the funds in our budget that we haven't used, so. And you'll hear about that down there. I'm sure they have work sessions on that very topic,
I would
right,
love to,
Daniel?
if we could get a couple of us to go down there and figure something
Yeah,
out.
have you,
See there.
one thing I wanted to ask you, Daniel, what exactly does the CEDAT stand for, that acronym? What's that stand for? I know the lower is local option income tax, but what's the CEDAT?
Economic development.
Economic development, yeah.
It was a strategy that was created, I think, 7 years ago to pay for EMS expenses, which isn't fully allowed by income tax statements laws. And that's just where it's set to this day. Unfortunately, now it's disappearing.
Yeah. Is that because people weren't using the fund appropriately throughout the state? Why did they decide they were just cutting off the?
No, I think that was an issue more here at home, which is that
Oh.
that was more of an issue here at home. The general fund couldn't support all the costs. This was pre-water sale.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And property taxes here in Lake Station have actually increased considerably since that, 8-10 years ago. Really.
That's about when that's when they started to see the cuts. I mean, but Lake County and St. Joe County, we were given a little extra time to get our shit together, basically, because of the debt we carried in these two counties, so.
Yeah.
And they gave us extra time to get ahead of it, but.
The good news is you're pretty debt light. You don't have much. You can't issue much debt, so that's also a good thing.
Yeah.
Some neighbors that would
Which is-
issue a lot of debt. That helps your tax rates and your circuit breakers. If you started issuing bonds left and right, you're looking at pretty substantial circuit breakers.
Well, we've all got our tax bills, so we all see what. How the assessed values have gone up for us, and what we used to pay.
They were supposed to save some money from the state bills that were passed, property tax reform. Instead, what happened is a lot of county assessors artificially increased the assessed values. So any deduction from your bill you got from the supplemental homestead credit didn't matter because your AV basically
Went up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it washed that out, yeah.
My opinion, by the way.
Well, it's pretty accurate though. Because I was around in the beginning of that talking of the circuit breaker to 1, 2, 3 before it ever was fully implemented. They talked about it heavily at a couple of years I went. And we saw it coming after it was too late. Everybody voted for it. It was an overwhelming vote in favor of doing that. But we were just fortunate in Lake County that we didn't have to start seeing the effects of it right away like a lot of counties did.
Right.
That didn't have as much debt, so. I don't know if that was a good thing or not,
Yeah.
so.
Save that back then.
Well, hopefully one of these days get this building paid off. Yeah,
Should be here in a couple of years.
2030. Long time.
Bill, 2017,
2030.
2030, yeah.
was it Bill?
We moved in 09, right, Adrian? Or you,
Well, yeah.
you weren't here? I think it was 09, it's on the front wall.
I don't know. My name's not on it. Your name is. So you should know the date.
I think we moved, well, I had nothing to do with the move. That's up to the mayor. I mean, they could have stayed in the old house longer. Moved in, it wasn't even completed yet. They were still working on the HVAC and other things when people started moving in. Because the other offices were, found a lot of mold in the ceiling and a few walls and.
I think she was referring to the fact that it was opened up right after the Cold War when you got elected. So
Cold War.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
so
Well,
guess we need to find out who's in county working on this so we can get our wheels turning for.
do we
for
even
the-
know if anybody's working on it?
I do not. I've seen a scenario, I've seen a model in circulation, but I'm not sure who's communicating with it. The county.
But we know who our guy will be next year, Dwight.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Well, yeah.
Well, I hope he comes through.
Yeah.
One can only hope.
Well,
Gotta run brakes.
Yeah,
put in the
right now for Daniel.
This is last year.
question, Mayor. When did you speak to the judge and Brenda about their departments? I mean, did you throw a number out there and say, this is what I was gonna put on the proposal, and they okayed it? $1,000 for themselves or for their people?
Yeah, I haven't heard nothing against it, nothing back.
Okay. We have so few people, I mean, compared to some cities and towns, I mean, we're working with, I mean, not many people.
Do we want to schedule a series of department head meetings at your next meeting, like executive session? Or not executive, but another workshop prior to the meeting?
Yeah, we should definitely schedule before we leave.
Would you guys be open to before the next council meeting?
That sounds
Maybe
good.
bringing in Chuck or? Jim?
Sooner the better.
Sure.
Sooner the better.
Okay.
That wouldn't be until 13th of August.
Mhm.
We need to meet before that, don't we?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, we can. So what day are you proposing?
Next week, Thursday. At the same time.
July 30th?
Yeah.
At
That sounds
You
good.
guys want to do
Same
that?
time.
5:30?
I will
You have what?
not.
You have what?
I will not be. Maybe that matters.
Me neither.
You had a sound, you mean? Okay, I was like,
You won't be here?
No.
Okay.
I'll be under anesthetic still.
What about August 6th?
2 weeks away then on the next Thursday.
Council meeting,
Shoot.
the next council meeting then.
That's
No.
13th.
The next council meeting is August 13th.
Does it have to be a Thursday? When do you have, do you have in
Well, Thursdays work
Uh,
best with Dalton's schedule.
what
In the
day?
afternoon.
Okay, so.
I'm gonna
It's
be.
next
You
Thursday.
can do it on
Vacation.
a Wednesday or a Tuesday?
I can't do this.
What about a Wednesday or a Tuesday, or can we do a Wednesday or a Tuesday? Does it have to be a Thursday? He's having a procedure, so I mean, it doesn't have to be a Thursday.
That week that you said, are you gonna be out of town that week?
Next week,
No, the first day that we had said that next Thursday, but you were like, you won't
you
be.
said July 30,
Yeah,
next Thursday.
so
It's
when,
pretty busy all week for me.
all week.
Yeah.
Okay, so the week after on Wednesday?
No, we could either meet.
It's August 5th.
Yeah.
That works for me.
8-5?
Yeah, we might as well just do
You
Thursday.
could do Wednesday or Thursday, because Rick's procedures next week.
You guys can meet without me.
He won't be here, so we're trying to
Oh,
say,
Daniel is not gonna.
so 8,
5th or 6th works great for me.
Oh, you will be available on the sixth?
Mhm.
is
Okay,
that Thursday?
yeah,
Okay, so 8, 6, 5:30. Got it.
Yep. got it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna ask for Chuck
Chuck and who else?
Whoever you want.
We get Chuck and Jimmy here.
Sure.
An
Well,
hour
I
with
thought you
each.
said they
Yeah,
had
we
to
can
do
do that.
separate.
Want to do an hour with each?
No, I don't think you'll need an hour, but
We're gonna start at 5:30. They both can show up and whoever wants to go first can go first. Make
Is
sure
there
one.
anybody else that we would like here?
Then do we need to schedule somebody for the 13th for before our next council meeting?
There's,
You do.
well, the judge, if you want to, I can see if he.
That's what I was gonna suggest, maybe the judge and.
he's not asking for anything. I like to question the people that spend all the money. Myself, but up to you guys.
I won't be here on the 13th. I'll be on vacation. But you guys can go ahead and meet.
We could just try to get the rest of the departments in on the 13th, right?
I mean, I'm gonna be at the one on the 6th. But I'm gonna be on vacation.
Following week,
I think.
So we're saying August 6th, 5:30, Chuck and Jimmy, August 13th, 5:30, rest of the departments. That's what we're saying?
well, you can request that. That doesn't mean they're gonna be here. They may have plans, you never know.
Yeah.
Shoot the email out to them and find out. I can do that. Mayor Dalton, somebody can do it.
Well,
Yeah, Jason and I won't be here on the
I
13th.
gotta work that day.
13th, we're just letting you know that ahead. This is a good notice for me.
Where you going?
Wherever I want. I'm off work.
You gotta take that top off of that Jeep and go, huh?
I'm thank God that you said Jeep. Not to make you blush, Rick.
You're making me blush.
Oh, we're recording.
That's just your tan skin color.
If my face
Just
is
your tan-
red, it's from blood pressure. not-
Oh, well, you better be careful. We ain't got any bottles of oxygen over here. We need to take some CPR classes.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll clean this up and send a revised ordinances.
thank you.
yeah, pretty interesting.
Any other questions?
I think we're finished with